All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to kick off our media availabilities today with driver of the number 47 JTG Darty Racing Chevrolet, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. If you have a question for Ricky, please raise your hand and we will get a wireless microphone over to you. We will go ahead and start right over here.
How's it going, Ricky? Chris Gollin from WNDB. So I was just wondering, you're locked into the playoffs with your win here in February. So you don't have to race for your season like other guys do, but it would be hard not to have a sense of confidence after that win. So with all that in mind, how hard do you plan on pushing it tomorrow night to maybe try and do the Daytona sweep?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're here for is to be back in victory lane, get my second summer race here, win. So for us, we're looking at the playoff points that we could take, to the playoffs. So either by stage wins or obviously another 5 points winning the race. So those are the benefits that we can take out of Daytona and the things that we're looking for. So how we do that, I'm not sure yet. I think on one hand, this race generally is kind of crazy. Obviously, last year was a little bit different with, kind of one instance taking everybody out of the race, but not really anybody's fault. So I don't know. Like I know the cars that have to win have to make it to the end of the race, right? So they don't really care about stage points. I mean, there's a couple that care about stage points, for us. So hopefully, that leaves us, racing the ones that are already locked in for maybe some stage wins or something. So just kind of see how it plays out and kind of adjust our race, kind of lap by lap or, kind of stage by stage, see where we shake out.
Matt and then Lee.
Matt Weaver, Sportsnot. You won your two Xfinity championships the old school kind of season-long way, and you've also been in a couple of these elimination-style format years. Now that we've kind of done this for a decade or so, how do you kind of weigh the pros and cons of the way we used to do it versus the way we do now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. I think it keeps the fans engaged the way we have it. But that being said, it would still be a great points battle right now. Going in, with 11 races left, I think it would still be, a really good, championship battle. I look at, I'm watching the Tour Championship right now and looking at the way, they eliminate guys and, set themselves up for a golf tournament at the end of the season. And, it's handicapped, but, we got four guys that go for a championship at the end of the year. So, I think everybody, every sport has done something, to make it exciting. Make their playoffs a little bit, more intense over the years. And so, I enjoyed the Xfinity, the Nationwide Series championships. I loved it was a season long deal, but at the point I'm in now, I'm looking forward to the playoffs and the opportunity to race for a championship that way, right? So, I don't know. I've not been leading going into the playoffs to really have a strong feeling one way or the other, I guess.
And then you kind of addressed it earlier, but 5 playoff points to win the race, maybe 2 more for the 2 stage wins. Do you kind of view this race as is it binary for you? It's either put ourselves in the position to win the race, get the 5, or because people are trying to survive, that's a chance to get the 2, and then it's 2 versus 5.
Yeah, we talked about that in our meeting this week at the shop, and you look at the cautions in this race, and you look at how many finish this race, and it's not near as many as other speedway races. It seems like so. But again, like kind of what I said earlier is I feel like there's a lot of guys that know that they have to make it to the end of the race to have an opportunity to make the playoffs, right? So I'm hoping that gives us a way to, kind of get some track position, stay up front, battle for those stage wins, and 7 points would go a long ways for us, in the round of 16 and so on. So, for me, that's really what we're focused on, and I hope that's how it plays out. That it won't be so chaotic at the end of those stages, and we're battling for those stage wins, and then ultimately the win at the end of the day.
Lee?
LeeSpencerCatchFence.com. I'm thinking you're looking at the first 2 rounds and you're saying, I can definitely win at Bristol. I can definitely win at Talladega. And if, the stars align, you move on to the round of 8. I mean, you think that those are your 2 best shots?
Yeah, I think, going into the first round, I really like all the racetracks. Love Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. I still feel like we've been so close at Bristol so many times. Would love to get my first win there this year, and then obviously move on. So, for me, I'm focused on the first round. I did not know Talladega was in the second round. Honestly, I have no idea what's in the second round. But for us, just really kind of honed in on Darlington right now. I feel good about where our car is for Daytona. So, my guys have been, kind of looking at Darlington this week and, trying to prepare for that. We were good at Darlington. Earlier in the year, we had a kind of misfortune with a flat left rear tire that we, lost time under green, pitting. So just, man, I feel really good about where we are as a team. I don't think we have to win in that first round to make it through by any means. So we'll go do our job each and every week and try and be perfect and let others make mistakes, to move on through that round.
We're going to come up here to Holly.
Hey, Ricky. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. This kind of goes right along into that. Where do you feel like your team is now? I mean, you got your wins so early in the season. Now to actually, all these months later, have the playoffs starting, how do you feel like you guys are?
Yeah, it's going to be real in in a week, right? So, or I should say, after tomorrow, it's real. I feel like we've grown a lot as a team. We've gotten better at certain areas, of our race team throughout the year, and really kind of things have stuck out where we need to be better. And I feel like we've corrected some of that. I still feel like we have some issues that we are still working on and, trying to clean up. And some of that's, me as a race car driver, getting to pit road, things on pit road, some race strategy calls that we've probably been a little bit off on. And then, car speed, we've struggled on some racetracks. But I like the information that we have and the things that we've learned lately and feel like that'll, put us in a good spot, going forward. But I like where we are. But yeah, it's real now. We've made the playoffs, and we got one more kind of relaxed kind of freebie race, and then it's game time.
All right, we're going to go back here to Greg and then back there.
Hey, Greg. We talked a couple weeks ago on the podcast about this very thing. To follow up on that, Greg with Forbes. Yeah, I wasn't drinking today. But you were on the podcast. We were talking about that, and thanks very much for taking the time out for that. But you were talking about having that relaxed attitude, and this is really the last race for that. Have you guys started to kind of sort of pivot and get ready to kind of have that different kind of attitude and get that more serious, or is it going to be when you hit the ground at Darlington?
Well, I mean, we're serious every week. It's just, the reality is next week is, everything matters. When we have a bad Saturday, it matters. We've had some bad Saturdays as far as qualifying goes, and and it's set us back, but it hasn't been super detrimental. I think a bad Saturday in the playoffs is difficult to overcome. And so, I think for us, it's we know that there's no mulligans. Once we start next week, and we're done with the driving range. We're done goofing off. So, we'll step up on the first tee next week and, make sure that we're ready to go.
And obviously you want to go all the way. That's it. You want to go all the way. But realistically, how deep would you be satisfied to go, or is that off the table? It's all or nothing.
No, it's not all or nothing. I think for me, I mean, even if just say we were eliminated in the first round, I mean, we could still finish fifth in points, right? So there's a ton left to race for, no matter what happens in the first round. And I think for us in 2017, we finished 11th in points, had a really good shot at finishing 9th in points after getting eliminated in the third round, I believe. So, for us, I mean, there's a lot to race for, no matter what happens in that first round.
All right, we're going to go back there and then up to Reed.
Caleb Vessel, SpeedwayDigest.com. Ricky, this is the first time since February when you won the 500 that you're coming back to Daytona. What are the emotions like? I mean, you're back in the media center for the first time since that winning press conference. Excuse me.
It was a lot more fun coming back in here after that.
But I mean, what is that like to come back here after that big win?
Yeah, it's been special. Our pilot Jim got to let us fly over the track. We did a circle around the track before we landed. That was pretty cool. And then going over to the museum, seeing the car, and in there, checking all the things out in there was special. And then unveiling our Walk of Fame there, out in front of the museum. This race is so big, right? When you win the 500 and you do a lot of things throughout the season, based off of winning this, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed every second of it. Being able to promote our team, promote our win, promote the sport, and for me, it doesn't get old. And so for me, it's been nice just to come in here, kind of take it all in, look around. Walk through the garage. It was so chaotic, after the race, and you're trying to celebrate. You're trying to somewhat get some sleep, knowing you got to get up the next morning early. So it's been nice to just kind of come in here and know that you accomplished something great as a race team, and now that's over, we can try and get another one.
All right, let's go up to Reed, and then if we have time, we'll get you up here.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Obviously, you've got incentive to win this race, to win the stages. You got points on the line, and also a rare sweep, which hasn't been done all that many times. But can you allow yourself an awareness of what's going on around you and trying not to affect who gets in the playoff and who doesn't?
That's definitely something that you think about. You don't want to be the reason somebody gets in over somebody else, right? So. Unless that, and is taking a win away from somebody. So, points wise and other cars, you definitely will, or at least I will, be a little more cautious around some of those cars that are, right there on the cutoff line for points. Some Chevy guys are racing for, wins. You got buddies that are trying to make the playoffs and things like that. So you try and be respectful of those guys, but know that we still have a job to do and try and take some points away from other people as well.
Thank you.
All right, last question right up here.
Mike Brodsky, Florida National News. Ricky, following up on your mention about the Walk of Fame, how did it feel putting your hands and feet in the concrete, and what does it mean to you personally to be part of that Walk of Fame here at Daytona?
It was cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never, I don't think at any construction sites I've ever put my hands or feet in concrete. I don't think I've done that as a kid. But no, that was really cool. And then, I'd say it gets more real every time, something happens, or, you go into the museum and, see your face on the wall there with all the other winners of the Daytona 500, and knowing that's going to stay there, and just like the Walk of Fame out there, to know that that's going to be there. I guess until they decide to tear it up, is really special, and that's, I feel like that's what the Daytona 500 is, right? It's something that sticks with you in your career, for the longevity of it, and I think no other race does that, and except for winning a championship in the sport, and so that was one that we're super proud of, and but that's also what makes it so important and so special to everybody, and so for me, I'm glad that we accomplished that already, and now coming back to Daytona more relaxed but also more confident is something that's nice to go along with it as well.
Thanks, Ricky.
All right. Thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow.